Thank you all for being here. It is a gorgeous Monday afternoon, and I appreciate your breaking away from whatever you were doing to be with us. I wish I would tell you this is short and to the point, but I like anticipatory sets, so I will be honest. It's relatively long, but I think quite interesting. First, I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank those who are watching us on simulcast. It's a distinct pleasure to be with you and to deliver what I think is one of the first State of the University addresses that's been done in a number of years, and certainly one that I would like to continue doing during my tenure here as president. Eastern is a special place, and I think most all of you know the reason it's a special place is because of the special people who are here, and people like you in the audience who are taking stock today with where we are as a university, where we are with a common purpose, and where we are in serving our students, not only for this year, but for next year and for a number of years to come. I think I'm ready for the discussion today. I've been here a little over 2 years. I think it's 2 years and 3 months and a few days. And I've had some opportunities to lead 6 commencement ceremonies, to have 3 welcome convocations. I've done listening sessions. I've begun visiting departmental and staff meetings. I've enjoyed hearing from students on hundreds of occasions, and I've attended literally hundreds and hundreds of events. It's been my honor to be with local business owners and community members and to talk with many of you who are here in the audience. These activities have served to heighten what I know is the right choice that Connie and I made a little over 3 years ago to decide to join you and to have the opportunity to work with all of you to move Eastern forward. As I'll outline in just a moment, we have many positives. We're certainly on a good path, and we have significant challenges that face us as well. The likes of being confronted by other Midwestern universities, some of them very close to us, some a little further in distance. The challenges require that we reflect and we restructure. We think back a bit, note our accomplishments, embrace our great character, the great character of our campus, and to take a powerful look forward, who we are, where we've been, and where we're going. As we look back on the plan for the future, I want to emphasize the themes or takeaways for today. First, we are resolute in remaining a university of opportunity. It's deeply woven into our mission, it's part of our history, it's part of our organizational DNA. But exactly what does that characterization represent? To me, it signifies diversity of race, diversity of nationality, diversity of socioeconomic status, and diversity of experiential background. It drives much of what we do here, and it is why we so heavily invest in issues and concerns like financial aid. It's why we opened and support Swoop's Food Pantry. It's why we have Engage at EMU, and we continue to connect further with the community. It's why we have the Holman Success Center, and it's why we have programs such as Magic. Fully embracing our important role as issues related to the University of Opportunity will drive us, even as we make difficult decisions. Those decisions needed to reflect on a new normal for higher education will be the central element and the appeal of what we do going forward, including a comprehensive fundraising campaign. Second, we face some significant challenges that are not unique to us, but demand our attention. To ensure the sustainability of our university, and I'll outline a few of those plans as I get further into the speech. Third, we have much to brag about, and we need to do much of that, much more of that. Let's tell our story. Let's tell the story of Eastern, the excellence that each one of you sees day in and day out as you work on this campus. Now I want to pause on that point for a minute. I'm not talking about blind faith. I'm not saying that the administration is always right or the actions of the university are always without conflict. Hardly. I'm speaking of the shared realization that whatever issues confront us, we understand that there are great things that happen on our campus, regardless of the issue of the day or the week or the month. In speaking with many of you, I found deep pride in the interactions that you have with students, how you teach, how you approach your job, how you do what you do to make our campus stronger. Such sentiments often reflect a level of caring and a willingness to speak out on issues that matter to you, and those are the kinds of matters we should speak on. From my viewpoint, though, we're far more united in purpose than we are divided in spirit. And together, I hope we can, in whatever way possible, move forward together as we unite to do more for our students. What do I mean when I say urge you to tell the story? I'm asking you to talk about, to share, to note the indicators of the strong academic excellence and the excellence of our student body. I've picked just a few, and I'm going to apologize right now because I know I will have left out one or two that is central to several of you in the audience. But imagine how long this would be if I included everything that I thought of. We're ranked among the best in the Midwest by Princeton Review. It's the 16th consecutive year we've received that designation. Our College of Business is ranked among the nation's best for 14 years in a row. Our Clinical Research Administration graduate program is ranked #1, as is our online Masters in Human Nutrition. Music therapy is ranked in the top 10 in our nation. Our online BS in dietetics is one of the top 5 in the country. Our PhD in clinical psychology is considered one of the very best. We're a center of excellence for information assurance. Our teacher education programs were just recognized for national excellence as they were reaccredited just a few months ago. Eastern was ranked in the top 25 nationally for our support of students on the autism spectrum, and we are consistently a leader in terms of being military friendly and LGBT friendly. We also have outstanding academic teams. For instance, our moot court team went to nationals this past year. Our integrated marketing and communication students finished 3rd in a worldwide marketing competition. A group of physics students finished 2nd this past year in a NASA Student Design Challenge, and then they attended a NASA conference where they were able to demonstrate their project that focused on water extraction from Mars. I don't know all of you and your thoughts. Water extraction from Mars was not exactly what I was thinking about as an undergraduate student. We support these efforts through distinct and excellent research opportunities, most notably our undergraduate symposium, our signature event on campus that brings students, that brings faculty, that brings our donors, our alums together to see research come alive. I've said it before and I'll repeat it again, faculty-student connection here is the foundation of what makes Eastern, Eastern. I think we all agree on this, and I think we see it as we go to things like the undergraduate symposium and hear our students present and hear the pride that they have in the work that they've done. We've enjoyed some major grant successes as well, including a major NIH grant that funds web-based programming for the tracking of infant development. In addition, this past year, 3 faculty members, Ann Casper, Joseph Breza, and Jamie Cornelius, secured major grants for their work and related undergraduate research. Importantly, we've added new academic programs to meet the demand of students in the job market. Those recently introduced include mechanical engineering, computer and electrical engineering, neuroscience, fermentation science, TESOL, religious studies, data analytics, a master's in finance, and a new master's in Africology and African American studies. Eastern abounds with opportunities. These opportunities are available for all kinds of students: first gen, transfer, veterans, working adults, stay-at-home parents, and international students. As part of our ongoing goal of building an inclusive community, we've launched several diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives just this summer. First, a comprehensive campus climate assessment that we will all see will be launched in just a number of weeks. Second, we'll soon launch a new diversity, equity, and inclusion website to serve as a central online hub for people from within Eastern and from outside of the community to look for resources that are available to them. Third, we will continue our work with the President's Commission on Diversity and Inclusion. This group of individuals, initially led by Professor Ron Woods and now led by Dr. Dibya Chowdhury, who I see right here in the middle, will continue to do their work to push us forward on the focus, with the focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Our McNair Scholar Program, led by Professor Heather Neff, helps first-generation students pursue graduate offerings. It epitomizes our role as that school of opportunity. Last year, every one of the McNair Scholars was admitted to a graduate program. In all measures, we are one of the most diverse public universities in the state of Michigan, and that should, for us, be a profound source of pride. To borrow the message that you see around campus and around the city of Ypsilanti, all are welcome here. You can also take pride in our facilities. We're an old campus, 169 years old to be exact, the second oldest university in the state. It's a beautiful campus, and we're working hard to preserve and improve the critical academic facilities that make our campus what it is. I think all of you will be excited about the opportunity to see Strong Hall come back online in a very different look than when we took it offline. Our Student Center has been ranked #1 in the country. Where we stand or sit today is not just about the aesthetics. It's not about the view of the lakes. It's not about the view of the fountains. I know I'm ruining your thought processes here, John. All of those things are important, but what truly makes this the #1 student center is the utility that we have for students, the heartbeat of students in campus life. Our new cogen facility is saving utility costs to the tune of more than $2.8 million a year, and it's reducing carbon emissions at the same time. We've also improved our dining offerings, as shown by positive results in student surveys. And we've invested in campus security and safety with nearly 900 security cameras now on our campus. We've greatly improved lighting, and we've improved lighting in areas where before we were neglect. Our police force remains an integral part of our campus, trusted and caring whether they're on their bikes, whether they're walking their beats, or patrolling in their vehicles. The fact is that our campus is exceptionally safe. It's a safe place to work, it's a safe place to live, and students and employee safety will continue to be one of our top priorities. Numerous other improvements are coming soon. Sill Hall will be renovated and expanded to support our growing high-demand College of Technology programs. Preliminary work on the Rec IM begins in January, with a full-scale renovation being undertaken in May. This project is funded by a dedicated student fee that was proposed by student government just 2 years ago, reflecting their knowledge that top-notch student facilities are vital to the future of Eastern and to the future of our students who use that facility. Work will begin on a new health facility. That will include a state-of-the-art clinic serving the EMU and surrounding communities, as well as offering a home for CAPS and a psychology clinic. Those of you who have been teaching for the last few years realize that one of the things you learn when you do a long lecture is always to have water nearby. We have commissioned a housing study to further assess our stock. We want to see what students see as demand. What we want to see is their thought of the marketplace, and a student survey and student focus groups will follow up throughout the semester. Another area where we excel and where we don't often get credit is exceptional partnerships and the resulting level of community engagement that comes from those partnerships. Eastern walks the walk when we talk about contributing to Southeastern Michigan schools and to local neighborhoods. How do we do this? For starters, we have more than 140 articulation agreements with community colleges, more than any in Michigan. We facilitate 3+1 and 2+2 degree progressions that allow students to have affordable access to higher education. Our Early College Alliance program allows high school students to attend and receive college credit at Eastern, boasting some of the highest academic success rates in the state. Each year, our Digital Divas program brings middle school young ladies and high school young ladies to see cybersecurity and STEM opportunities in action. This summer, middle school girls came to us for a 4-week summer camp that focused on promoting the awareness of STEM and STEM careers. Hugely important topics to them and to us as well. Fermentation Science is working on a project in Midtown Detroit to help prepare individuals for careers in the brewing business. Our student athletes performed more than 7,000 hours of community service last year, and Bright Futures and Upward Bound programs helped hundreds of area high school students. The Eastern Scholars Program brings our graduate assistants to local public schools to help their students prepare for college. The Vision Volunteer Center continues to provide excellent opportunities for students, such as the Pen Pal program that we see at Esterbrook Elementary. Our Live Ipsy program has secured the opportunity for housing for more than 50 Eastern employees to purchase homes right here in our community. WEMU, Eastern's national public radio station, was recently honored as Michigan Station of the Year. It celebrated its 50th anniversary, and its new community-based features are certainly indicative of what we see in the skyrocketing ratings. People like what WEMU is offering. Such activity is reflected also in our Carnegie classification of being a community-engaged university. This label is not one that we take lightly. It talks about and speaks to what we believe in collaboration and community collaboration. Last year, as an indication of our institutional pride and potential, we shattered our record for the annual Day of Donations known as Giving Tuesday. Based on all of these initiatives and even more, the Higher Learning Commission granted us reaccreditation with 10 full years. They gave us a to-do list as well, and I'll talk about that in a moment. These are just a few of the successes, and I share this with you not to pat myself on the back or to speak of any of our executive council members who are here in the first two rows, but instead to say how many have been involved to make these accomplishments come to life. How many of us have seen these successes and have given them and us a real sense of what the tip of that attitudinal iceberg might be and why it's worth branding the support we're giving to the community and the community's giving to us. We need to tout these successes more, and we need to tout them more broadly. We, and I mean all of us, are worth it. We're worth sharing that story. So why is this important? We find ourselves in a distinct time of challenges, and challenges that come to us in a variety of forms. Unmet, these challenges threaten the existence of any institution like ours. First off, there's some stark challenges in terms of declining numbers of high school graduates, which, by the way, I'm sure all of us know, is almost our absolute sole source for first-year students. Nationwide, the higher education market has constricted by 12% since 2011. The number of high school graduates in Michigan has declined by 15% since 2008 and is projected to fall by another 15% by 2028. And within that shrinking pool of high school graduates, a smaller portion are choosing to attend four-year universities. These numbers frighten me. They're scary. They are the new reality. Meanwhile, neighboring states are experiencing very similar declines. Their school graduates look like our school graduates. Indiana is projected to decline 7% through 2028. Illinois is projected to decline 11%, and Ohio 12% during that same time period. Not surprisingly, the challenging demographics also mean that our community college populations are declining, cutting into the source of our transfer population. All of our community college partners have seen declines, and our transfer student headcount is now 36% smaller than it was in 2010. International students have also declined, falling 29% since 2012, and more hurdles loom as we see the politics of Washington play out on our television screen or in our newspaper or in our online reading. The result, our pool of potential students is getting smaller and smaller. Indeed, our total student headcount has decreased 13.5% since 2010. Student credit hours, those are the lifeblood of our revenue, are down 8% from 2014 to 2017. And they're projected to decline even more given the demographics I just shared. We're not alone in having to adjust our budgets. A quick glance at newspapers, just regionally, will show that our peers in Michigan and around the country are slashing tens of millions of dollars from their budgets. They're eliminating positions. They're cutting academic programs, and they're ending sports programs. We can't look to Lansing or to Washington to solve our problem. From our high in the early 2000s, we receive on an annual basis $8 million less in state funding, and that's not adjusted for inflation. $8 million a year, not adjusted for inflation. In addition, federal Pell Grants, 40% of our undergraduate students receive Pell Grants, are up less than 1% a year over the last 5 years. We need to continue dealing with our aging infrastructure. Our beloved campus needs continued R&R, rebuilding, and renovation. A final challenge concerns the level of communications we have and self-image. Among many, there's a perceived lack of communication here on campus, and I have to admit, since the day I arrived, I agree. There's been little information shared in certain opportunities, and I understand that concern. I can only say this: we've tried to do more, and there's more to do. I pledge to do more. I pledge to work with a cabinet that will do more. We will expand on that in a moment, but we know we must communicate more and more directly. Basically, that's why I'm standing here with you today. Perhaps the most startling thing I sensed to come upon arriving to campus was the negativity that permeates throughout much of what we do. I understand people feel anxious. I understand people feel angry. I know there are moments of distress, but times of such bring an aura that the daily life of Eastern is only negativity. I'm not asking you to cast aside feelings. I'm not asking you to give up on what you know are personal roots and historical roots. What I'm saying is we're big enough to matter. We're small enough to be tightly knit. We're very, very capable of being a self-aware community. And we can overwhelm negativity by sharing the positives. Are there going to be negative occurrences? Absolutely. But do they have to be the focus of what we do day in and day out? I'm asking that you look deeper into who we are. Where are our great pride points? Where are our shared purposes? As opposed to dwelling each day on inevitable issues that will arise in a diverse campus. There are 20,000 students. There are highly intelligent and highly prepared faculty and staff here. There'll be an issue every day. I hope you can take a fresh look around and then look at times at who we are, what great activities are taking place, what caring staff, what caring faculty are surrounding us each and every day. We have so much for which we can be proud and so much more that we can collaborate on, with, and through. So what are we going to address? What are we going to do to address these challenges? What's our plan? I'd like to outline 5 areas of focus with several associated actions, and I'll try to go quickly. The focus areas are to increase enrollment and student persistence, to improve communication, to update the university strategic plan, to continue on our path to fiscal sustainability, and to crush our upcoming comprehensive fundraising campaign. Bill, I'm sure you didn't want me to include crush. These priorities are not one-year initiatives. They are issues, items, and considerations that will be with us through the future years. Right now, our most pressing challenge, I believe, is enrollment and student persistence. When we often say the word retention, we're talking about enrollment and student persistence. Persistence to graduation. This requires support from every employee. Our focus is clear. We need to enroll more students, but we also need to retain the students that we have with us today. This isn't going to be easy. The changing demographics that I just shared are daunting. In general, we have fewer students available to us, and those students enrolling today are very different than they were in 1978, 88, 98, 2008. I hope I hit a few of the years that some of us in the audience were undergraduates. Today's students are very technologically driven and they're very social media driven. To better understand the new ways that they seek and process information, we have to make decisions. We have to make decisions of how we do what we do. Just today, Provost Longworth and I asked the University Budget Council to examine students considering Eastern but changed their mind somewhere along the process. We call that the melt rate. From the time they have an expression of interest to the time they are admitted to the time they're enrolled, what is our loss rate and why? Why does that loss rate exist? We look forward to the University Budget Council working to give us some insights there and to show us the dollars that are represented by that melt rate. We must also undertake a comprehensive review of who we are in marketing to our students. What is our content? What is our delivery? How do we ensure that we're in sync with the market? We need to highlight key academic programs that are in high demand. We need to acknowledge and act upon the fact the world is changing. The top jobs of the future include, I had to look at the futurists to get a few of these, drone applications, augmented virtual reality, 3D print design, healthcare, IT, alternative energy, robotics, cybersecurity, and biometrics. I think back to 1978 when I was an undergraduate, and I think healthcare was the only one that existed then that exists now. That tells us about today, but also is instructive of tomorrow and the days that we face ahead. We must look at our graduate programs. Job markets are changing. Demands for advanced degrees change as job markets change. Top areas for focus might be the MBA, healthcare, looking at signature programs like educational leadership. Graduate studies for us is an untapped market. We have to do more to market our excellent programs in graduate education. With this in mind, I call for your help. The programs that we advertise, the programs that we discuss, must be generated by the employees who know them best, by the faculty who know them best. Every day I remind myself how lucky I am to be here. Every day I know how hard our students work to earn the degrees that they have. For employees, it's too easy to get mired down in our day-to-day list, and sometimes we forget that we're here to serve students. We're here for that continued priority of serving students to the very best of our ability. Also, I call upon you for help in the area where faculty and staff are supporting the work that's done in the colleges. Help us recruit new students by telling the stories of your departments and your colleges. This is a crucial effort, more so because each program is unique and exact action items vary based on college to college and department to department. We must target adult learners. We simply can't focus on the 17-year-old that was our focal point for so many years. Here's a statistic I didn't know until early this summer. Nearly 25% of Michigan adults aged 25 to 64 have some college credits, but no degree. Our state ranks #1 in the Midwest for what is called the stopout rate. In southeastern Michigan alone, there are nearly 700,000 adults with some college credit, but no degree. Nationwide, the market for adult degree completion is larger than the market for traditional high school students entering college. I'm going to read that one again. Nationwide, the market for adult degree completion is larger than the market for traditional high school students entering college. We must target this population. We must look at the trends that are different for the working adult than for the 17-year-old. It certainly means marketing, it certainly means flexibility, it means online options, all part of that marketing strategy. Today's adult learner, including those seeking their first undergraduate degree, are increasingly demanding more and more online opportunities. They have good jobs in a booming economy, and they won't quit. Why would they quit? Second, they have families to care for. So the opportunities of doing a degree on Tuesdays and Thursdays isn't as appealing when you take those two primary reasons at hand. They have a great job in a booming economy, and their families need taken care of. Even today's 18 and 19-year-olds are demanding more online education. Approximately 30% of higher education students nationwide take at least one online course. The conclusion to me is obvious. We have to develop more online courses and online programs. We have been slow to move in this area, and our peers, some from the very top tiers of higher education ranking with global reputations, are far ahead of us in this critical growth area. Some of you may have read recently that MIT said they can put everything online, and a colleague of mine said, Jim, if you had their endowment, you could too. There are opportunities that are not only solely that listed with MIT. These online courses and programs can be marketed broadly. It's our chance to showcase our top programs to a larger and more diverse potential audience. We can expand online by giving broader opportunities to non-traditional students, which fits back with that opening comment that I made on our mission as a great place of opportunity. Our online RN to BSN program, led by outstanding faculty and staff in nursing, is a perfect example. Student credit hours in ground-based nursing programs have been flat since 2013, but the nursing department has nonetheless enjoyed a 58% increase in student credit hour production, thanks almost exclusively to the RN to BSN program that is online. There are real dollars at stake. The online RN to BSN program turned the department's recurring deficit budget into a surplus just this last year. Moreover, the RN to BSN program is flexible. Students currently working as nurses, almost all of you know, don't work 8 to 5. They work weekends. They work late nights. They work what we consider a third shift. Rather than being forced to matriculate only in September and January, students can choose from 6 opportunities to start their coursework. Students may also start and stop that coursework as needed. We often hear this referred to as the carousel model for course offerings. By providing this flexibility, we're providing educational and career opportunities to students who otherwise would not have the chance to earn that bachelor's degree. And there is undisputed evidence of financial success to EMU. Online will not replace the traditional classroom model. But expanding online is part of our future, and it is part of what students are demanding. I readily acknowledge that our collaboration with Academic Partnership, a group that we've retained to do online marketing, has generated controversy. I want to be clear, and I hope I've been clear in discussing this with a number of you. AP only does marketing. They do marketing for certain programs. EMU faculty develop these courses, they teach these courses, period. What we can't dispute is AP has been a success. AP has helped expand our reach for the RN to BSN program. It has helped students otherwise who would not have had an EMU experience to have that EMU experience. The marketing experiences were borne by the cost of AP and not by EMU. That's why our peers are using a similar model as they develop their partnerships to market online programs. Another example of success in our online program offerings is my home department, Educational Leadership. Online credit hours have grown significantly since 2015, and the growth continued last year when AP started marketing this program to a broader audience. We know where the demand lies. Now we must meet that demand by developing and launching more online programs and more online opportunities. We focus possibly on the MBA, on curriculum and instruction, special education, our Master of Science in Nursing, information assurance, just to name a few. In sum, online is not just a revenue stream. It's something we can't ignore as a positive element of our revenue streams, but it is also an opportunity for undergraduate and graduate students and adult returners to finish that goal, to finish that mission that they set forth for themselves, to receive that bachelor's degree, that master's degree, or the certification that may be offered to them. In addition to online, we have to focus on our international enrollments. You heard the statistics. International enrollment at Eastern and at many universities around the country is down. It's clear that part of this is caused by Washington and Washington politics. We'd be foolhardy to ignore that. But our decrease predates the current administration in Washington, and thus also reflects a failure of past years when we as a university have de-emphasized the vital element of internationalism in Eastern's academic and campus life. I have said this to you probably more than some of you want to hear, certainly my colleagues here in the front, more than they've wanted to hear. I believe we can double our international enrollments, and we can do that during my tenure as president here at EMU. We've made a start on that goal. We have numerous new partnerships, primarily in Asia, but not restricted only to Asia. Our new True EMU global rate has received much acclaim, both nationally and internationally. It is where in-state tuition is reflected, as we did 2 years ago, equal to out-of-state tuition, now equalized to international tuition at the undergraduate level. The hashtag You Are Welcome Here campaign has helped create greater awareness of the role of our international students, our international faculty, our international staff, by contributing to that rich diversity of our community. Our Global Engagement Council plans to create a tool for searchable international agreements to spur faculty to look at new global efforts and to support mentoring and alumni activities that can happen in those global settings. Again, this is a collective effort. Every employee helps make a positive experience for these students, just like students that come from Canton, or come from Dowagiac, or come from any city you can name in Michigan. The difference is students who come to us from around the globe can't see their family, their friends, their brothers and sisters with a 30 to 50-minute car drive. It's not enough to talk about enrolling new students. We must do more to retain them, as I mentioned earlier, and our goal needs to be retention to graduation. To that end, we're proud to have been selected as a member of the 2018 cohort of the Higher Learning Commission's Student Success Academy. A team of faculty and staff will work with HLC scholars and mentors over the course of the next 3 years to build on our current efforts to improve student persistence and success, starting with a close examination of data about our institution, about our experiences, to succeed with degree completion and retention, and to make the degree completion and retention plan that next level better than it currently is. Additional strategies will be developed in concert with faculty, staff, and students. Again, this is a collective effort. Every employee here at the university has a role to play. A second key focus for the upcoming year is to improve communication. As I mentioned earlier, communication has been insignificant and sometimes insufficient. I want to emphasize that our goal is not to tell you more, but to hear more from you, to develop more opportunities for two-way communication. It means giving you information, absolutely, but it also means that we can do more than that. We can listen to consultation from applicable groups and then take action. With that goal in mind, we're launching several new initiatives to improve and expand two-way communication. We'll continue our administrator and department head meetings that started under interim President Don Lopnow. Those have resulted in significant sharing of information and positive interaction and understanding. If the department heads, the deans, and the others that are at that meeting don't bring information back, I will assure you it's not that we haven't asked and asked and asked. Another action will be a monthly email to all employees. This communication will be part of EMU Today on a Wednesday news update. It will focus upon a variety of topics, everything from academics to budgets to facilities. We plan to hold coffee chats and front desk hours, where we, as members of the Executive Council, will spend time at those front desks, or spend time having coffee in a scheduled setting, where we can see and understand better the departments that serve the units that we are charged to lead. This will be first-hand view of day-to-day work, and it will increase our understanding, and our conversations, the coffee conversations, will increase our understanding. Along the line of communication, I also want to announce a new initiative, the President's Sustainability Commission. Thomas Kovacs, many of you know Thomas, a distinguished professor of meteorology and authority on our campus environment, will be leading this commission, charged with working with various units to assess Eastern sustainability and to make recommendations on how to become more sustainable. I believe that email is going out either tonight or tomorrow morning. Is that correct, Provost Longworth? Tonight or tomorrow morning, those of you who are interested in sustainability, there'll be an email giving opportunities to serve with that commission. Sustainability here will entail the principles and practices that promote and maintain responsible use of natural resources by current generations to ensure that availability and well-being of those resources are here for future generations. We're already doing a good deal in this area. I mentioned the cogen electricity and heating system. We've installed energy-saving glass in residence halls. We've put energy-saving glass in other buildings as well. We have energy-efficient lighting throughout campus, but we can do more. The commission will have the great opportunity for the campus to show how cross-sectional groups can work together to produce truly terrific results. I'm excited about this effort, and I think it says much about our campus and the concern of our campus for today and for years moving forward. The third key area of focus is taking the next steps with our strategic plan. Most of you are well aware that we have a plan that's anchored by mission, vision, and values. The plan also includes several strategic themes that have driven and will continue to drive our collective efforts. Eastern's strategic plan as it exists now lacks measurability and sustainable action items to carry those metrics and goals forward. This omission has been noted by many of you, and a quick review of our peers' strategic plan confirms to us that our plan differs from theirs in that key aspect. Most importantly, the Higher Learning Commission accreditors demanded that we address the lack of specifics that we have and move forward with well-articulated and measurable goals. The strategic plan was always intended to be an evolving document. Indeed, all strategic plans are living documents. They are a roadmap to the future of the institution. In that spirit, we plan to launch a collaborative process to update our strategic plan. We'll create work groups for each of the plan's strategic themes, and collectively we'll include stakeholders from across campus, faculty, staff, students, and even a few alums. What will all this do? Using our themes, mission, vision, and value, these groups will propose updates to the plan and tangible goals for measurable outcomes. The initial focus will be on institution-wide goals and outcomes, but then we will propose updates to the plan that can reflect a constantly changing demographic and technological landscape. It will be such that individual departments can then develop specific goals of measurable outcomes for their areas. It's important to note that this will not be a job for a division head or a department chair. It will not be a job for central administration. It is a work group where all of us will work to create what will be best to fulfill Eastern Michigan University's future with that roadmap. Key focus areas on our updated strategic plan should include student enrollment and persistence, online education, experiential learning, which has been clearly proven to be beneficial to our students as they have internship opportunities that result ultimately in being employed by where they're doing their internship. The message I want to share here is that strategic plan cannot be a document that sits on a figurative shelf. Rather, it must be a powerful and clear call for specific actions and specific outcomes. The fourth area is not unique to Eastern. It is of particular importance given our history, and it continues to be something I think about virtually daily. We have to continue to stabilize our finances. When I arrived in July of 2016, we had incurred multi-million-dollar budget deficits for 6 consecutive years. You can't operate a household with that strategy. You can't operate a small business with that strategy. And you certainly can't operate a complex university in that way. Not surprisingly, we had depleting financial reserves, or as I like to say in layman's term, our savings account was running dry. Our reserves were low by all benchmark standards, in those low reserves have placed us on a watch list with our accreditor, HLC. I've been committed from day one to reversing this dangerous trend. Firsthand, we all know that the decisions that we make to stabilize finance impacts everyday life. No president wants a job where he or she can make painful decisions to impact someone's personal livelihood. But I wouldn't be doing my job, and our cabinet wouldn't be doing their job, if we didn't look at this as our reality. It is not a reality to ignore. I'm pleased to say that after a lot of heavy lifting that all of you endured, we've made tremendous progress. In the last 2 years, we've dramatically reduced our deficits, and for the current fiscal year, we have projected a balanced budget. We have increased our operating reserves thanks to our partnerships in parking and dining, and those partnerships have also leveraged investments in our campus infrastructure. Investments that we would not have been able to afford to do on our own. Despite this progress, work still needs to be done. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to face those demographic trends. Every year will require us to make difficult choices. I commit to you that we will ensure in engaging a process where we can talk to key stakeholders about these challenges and ensure that stable financial future will be in front of all of us as we discuss the future for Eastern Michigan University. Now I want to end on a brighter note. The demographics were a little depressing. The financial data was a little depressing. On a brighter note, our comprehensive fundraising campaign is taking shape. As many of you know, we plan to launch that comprehensive fundraising campaign within the course of the next few years. The aim will be to generate significant new dollars to sustain our university. It will be critically important to all of us that this be a campus-wide sustained effort. Our comprehensive proposal is in the early stages of development, but we know focus areas for gifts will include student success, signature academic programs, and experiential learning. Of course, any discussion on fundraising and revenues and spending will have the persistent question about athletic spending. I acknowledge the concern. Campus is right to ask us to analyze our spending on athletics, but we have to look at athletic spending within the context of all of our spending. Building upon the actions of last year, we will all recommit to increasing revenues, including additional fundraising and other revenue options for athletics. I want to emphasize that this is not a central campus argument versus an athletic argument. Our student athletes are outstanding, hardworking members of our campus. They consistently win awards for their academic and service achievements, as well as winning awards for their successes on the playing field. They reflect the fact that we are all part of a team, pulling largely in the same direction on behalf of our students. Our comprehensive campaign must be that team effort as well. It will require input and support from all of us. Donors invest in all of you. They invest in your stories, in your memorable and inspiring interactions with faculty, in the engaged administrator who helped a student get from point A to point B in her or his career, the caring staff member who just asks, "How are things going?" I hope you'll never forget that reality as we build on these stories that our alums know and respect and will give toward as we share them through the fundraising process of the comprehensive campaign. We have other initiatives already underway, and many of those will continue. Some of you know that the construction of the Rec IM, the Health Center, and SIL are all soon to be undertaken. We have others on the horizon. Today's goal was for me to highlight a few of them, not to go through all of them. So now the line you've all waited for. In closing, I readily note that this is an aggressive agenda. It is an annual blueprint that requires heavy lifting. Some may complain that I failed to mention a particular area, and I started out by giving that apology. I'll apologize again for that. But it leads us to an important closing point. that after 2 years of being here, we have so much to share with positive stories about positive work that happens in our classroom, in our seminar rooms, in our rooms where we interact with students in small groups and large groups. I hope that we can continue to share those stories of pride. The pride that has allowed some of you and compelled some of you to work here 10, 15, or 20 years. As I emphasize all of this, the strategic priorities I've outlined today obviously need your expertise. Only with your involvement can we succeed. This, above all, the collaborative effort must sweep in new ideas, new insights, and new energy. This is a great place, one with a tremendous history, a history that we must applaud. We must not dwell on the issue of the day, but on the successes of the week, the month, or the year. I know we're not perfect. I don't walk around campus with rose-colored glasses. I've made mistakes, and I suspect all of us will make mistakes going forward. What is vital to our long-term success as an institution is that we think about the daily successes of our students and commit to do more to help them as we collaborate, as we show them how empathetic, how future-oriented, and how positive the outlook can be for them as graduates of this great university. I thank you for taking your time today. I said 48 minutes. Who in the group was timing? Ron says I didn't make 48 minutes. I know some of you will have questions. The EC is here. We're all up here in the front. I urge you to come forward. Questions, comments, we'll entertain. We'll stay as long as you would like for us to. But let me close with this. Now, as I close, with thoughts of exceptional academic, social, and athletic aspects of this diverse and vibrant campus, let me say just 2 words. Go Green. Thank you very much.